Hey, everybody, welcome back. My golly, we're having another fun episode of the Be Smart Beehooligans weekly podcast. If you've noticed, past couple of times we've had a little bit of tech trouble, so they're not getting out on the Saturdays when we're supposed to get them out, because tech is great when it works. But we're going to try and get that fixed up so they're getting released on the right day. And hopefully this got out on the right day. We're always a little bit ahead. So I don't know. My crystal ball hasn't shown me if we're getting out yet. It should get fixed, though, by gum. All right. We got an interesting guest today and a short list crew. But that's okay because it just means we get to have more fun, especially since it's the two more attractive and intelligent members of the podcast. At least I think so. Regulars. That would be Debbie Horne, and of course myself. Well, I don't know about the attractive for myself. Debbie's 20 times more attractive than I am, but
I
like to think I'm at least somewhat sort of know what I'm talking about anyway. So hey, Debbie, how you doing over there?
Hey, Tony, doing great.
Awesome. Hey, you guys got some weather coming.
Yes, sir. I've got to go buy some straps and anchor my hives down.
Batten down
just
the
in
hatches.
Case.
You guys aren't expecting anything Texas like though.
No. I saw the forecast this morning, and from what it looked like, it looks like Florida's going to get the hit. We'll still have weather from it, but it won't be a direct hit, according to what the weatherman says. And usually they're right. So.
Not around here, they're not. Lucky for you if you can actually count on your weather, people. Of course, you're over there, even though we're in the same continent, the U.S. We're pretty much all going into fall here, so. Weather changes a little bit. I don't know about you here in the Midwest and Nebraska area. We're having some cooler weather. We get a nice cool down. Usually this time of year we're like smoking in the 90s for the first week of September or so. But this week and next week we're like 70s and 80s. So we got a little respite going on here. You guys got a little bit of a rainy thing coming.
I don't know the hurricane. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Harvey just passed over us, right. What was left of him. And we had rain for about a day and a half, which was good because we needed the rain and there was no flooding or anything like that. But our 7-day forecast, we're getting a little bit of a cool down at nights right now. It's starting Wednesday night. We're going to get in the 60s, but we'll still be in the upper 70s. For a while. We don't usually get any really cold stuff until close to Christmas.
Yeah. Hey, I think I smell a Yappy. Do I smell a Yappy over there?
Hey.
Finally! He made it! Yay!
Yay!
It's the Yappinator.
Hey, I'm glad you made it, Yappy.
Well, I'm definitely short-timed, but where's your
We're
guest?
just getting kicked off, bud. So we're just doing the intros right now. So of course there's our Alabama Yappy, and things are going well for you. You sound like you're busy today.
Man, it's crazy. Throw a holiday into the kink of the mix, and it gets all kind of goofy there. But glad to be in here with y'all.
Excellent. Hey, I was just getting ready to tell Debbie because, we're all here. We're on the continent, and it's getting to be fall. But we have somebody today. But before I can introduce this guest, last time we read some comments from our Facebook group, the Be Smart Facebook group, and we had one of the persons I think one of the main ones that I quoted from, Imogen. She posts on there pretty frequently with us, and I read some of her questions, and we talked about and tried to give some answers to that. And then, of course, she mentioned about being on the podcast, to which I responded, "No, never, not once, not ever, not going to happen." And I lied because today Imogen's here. She literally looked at me and threatened to put me in a chokehold, and I said, "Fine, you can come on the podcast." So without further ado, Imogen, how you doing?
G'day, I'm all right. How are you?
Good day. She kicked it right off, all Aussie style. I love that.
G'day.
G'day. I can't do a really good, imitation Australian thing. Debbie's much better than I am, but I can do.
I got one.
And I can do banana.
One thing.
Let's hear it. Come on, Debbie. You did it earlier.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll say it, and then let Imogen say it, and see if she says it the same way. All I can say is the dingo ate your baby. That's all I got.
Now, is that how it's supposed to really sound, Imogen?
Oh, man, you're going to make me say it, aren't you?
If we can get Margaret to say banana, we can get you to say... Come on.
Do it.
Come on.
It's really politically incorrect because this was such a major deal
why?
here.
Okay, don't do it then.
What's
Then don't do
about
it.
That? Because here it's kind of a joke from the Seinfeld show. So why would you say it's politically incorrect over there? We're just ignorant Americans. We don't know what the hell we're doing.
It's all right. It's okay. It was a long time ago, but it was a pretty big deal at the time. It was massive news because the dingo ate the lady's baby.
Oh, it was a real thing.
It was legit, yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so it's kind of like
you're mocking somebody losing a baby. How dare you? Debbie, I'm shocked.
Yes, we can't go down that road here because then it would be like someone talking about alligators, that the baby at Disney World. So we can't talk about alligators. And Shao Wee's the gator guy on the show, so we're real touchy about how we talk about alligators.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
No, okay, here, let's pull some crocodile.
Okay, now I feel legitimately absolutely horrible right now.
Crocodile Dundee.
It's okay. It was back in the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah, but Yappy just bringing up that gator thing, that just happened like last summer.
Oh, okay.
That's a bad.
See,
it's just bad all the way around.
I did not know that. I thought it was just a Seinfeld thing, so I didn't even know it was based on a real deal.
Blame Seinfeld.
I am.
So what happened? Did the dingo actually go up in the woman's yard and in the people's yard?
No, she was camping. She was camping up, and there's a tourist attraction up there, up in the Northern Territory, and she was camping up there, and the children were in the tent, and went back there, and the dingo had the baby. So
we had something
big
kind of
hunt.
like that. Like a year or so, wasn't it, Yappy? Like a year or two ago, some lady went camping around here and had a little basket for the baby, and the little handle carrier thing, and the eagle swooped down and picked the baby up right out of the basket.
No.
Yeah.
Man, I can't. It sounds oddly familiar, but I don't think it went as far as.
I've heard of bears dragging people out of tents and stuff like that.
Took it. I think it ended up like letting it go within a certain distance because it was too heavy. But it swooped down and grabbed. I mean, there was pictures in the paper and everything. It was crazy, totally crazy. Anyway, we're getting towards fall. We're getting towards fall here. Is where I started going with this, and but it's not fall for our down under friends. Where Imogen, where you're at over there, it's not fall.
No, it's getting into our bee season. It's nearly spring. Well, it is spring, but the weather's not spring.
You have been deprived of bees up until this point recently.
There's nothing more glorious than seeing America start to slow down on the internet and on all the Facebook pages.
Bitter much.
Yeah, because I want to be where you're at right now. I'm like wishing winter away completely, going, okay, all right, I'm ready for spring.
Hey, but you guys have like the super big bees, don't you? Like in the Lord of the Rings movies, or not Lord of the Rings, what was the other? The way they had the super bees, because those are real, right?
Yeah, we've got those.
I
don't know what you're talking about.
I read the book. See, when I was a kid, I was a geek. I always read the books and all that. So The Hobbit and all that, the great big honeybees, and so.
I don't remember that part.
Oh, dude, these things are monsters. I want one. And then, hey, to prove my geekdom even further, I was a big Dungeons and Dragons player, and of course, in the games there is giant bees. And it's like, so anytime that ever comes up in game systems, even now to this day, people will ask me, can bees really be that big? And I'm like, no, they can't really. See the stuff you've brought up to us, Imogen? You're a treasure trove of content.
Okay. Let's call it that.
So what
I'm going to say this. There's a lot of Australian beekeepers that are actually now getting out there in the U.S. Facebook pages. Yep. I kind of help admin on a few different Facebook pages, and before I add somebody to a group, I always kind of do a little check on their profile to see if they're real people for starters, and if they're interested in beekeeping and what their background hobbies are and where they're from. And it's very amazing to see that it's like somebody just turned Facebook on in Australia or something. I don't know. Do you not have like Australian beekeeping clubs and Facebook pages down there?
Yeah, we do. We've got a few, but they're probably not as busy as the American ones. And also I think maybe with the Flow Hive turning up, because, it's an Australian thing, lots of new beekeepers have come on the scene, so maybe they're just searching around for a bit more information.
Or she might be saying that we just talk too much.
So
I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, it's all right.
So what is the general consensus since the Flow Hive started over there, and it's probably more prevalent? What is the general consensus?
I think that initially there's a bit of trepidation and something new, and everyone was feeling a bit like, "Ooh, let's not, let's just wait and see what this thing does." And just from my perspective in my bee club, it's becoming more and more accepted. I think that the Flow crew have done a pretty good job in supporting new flow keepers, especially in the last couple of years. The last year, I guess. They're starting to do things like give hives to certain clubs and things just to help support them. So I think that's been pretty beneficial for the new Flow Hive keepers. And I think it's being a bit more accepted by people who are traditional beekeepers, because they're having a little play with it and they're getting some flow hives and seeing how they work. How about you guys over there?
I'm disgruntled by it.
Disgruntled?
Oh, yeah, I used to manage a group that like talk about flow hive is like totally taboo, just because it brings up so much adversity.
Don't say the F word.
Is that being involved in education, just the very name, the Flow Hive, and it's like they pitch it as a whole new kind of hive, and it's like, no, it's a Langstroth hive. It's not a new kind of hive. It's a new kind of honey supering method. It is not a new kind of hive, and it doesn't change the way you manage bees at all from the Langstroth system. So to me, it just really threw people into a tizzy of like, oh, it's a whole new thing of beekeeping, and really it's not. It's just a new honey super system.
Oh, so it's really just a
very expensive new honey supering system. So
can you tell Tony doesn't like it, Imogen?
Yeah, it's nothing new in terms of the beekeeping itself. But unfortunately, a lot of people at very first got out there and they were like, oh, I don't have to do anything. Let the bees be bees. And instead of beekeepers, we had a lot of new bee havers. And now we have to re-educate people and say, no, you still have to take care of the bees like you normally would. You just super differently. And that's been happening through
Imogen's
history.
Quiet. Be quiet. You can
no, intentionally, so that you guys can have a chat about it.
No. We want you in on the chat. I did not go get you to come over here just so you could be quiet. You need to step right on up. And I don't think you're shy. You are not shy because you chip in on the Facebook group like nobody else.
No, I'm not shy.
Sometime in the conversation, I just want you to use the word Mankey in a sentence.
Okay. I'll try and work that in there somewhere.
Mankey!
We had to Google it. Because you asked a question about that. We had to Google it and find out what it meant.
We didn't believe it was a real word.
Yep.
I didn't know it was a real word.
Oh, really? Oh, it's on. You can Google it. It's a word. It's on the internet. So.
Yappy, why are you so quiet? This is uncommon. You're frightening me.
He's not here.
He's not listening again. Either that or he's got us on mute and drinking his coffee or something. So anyway, back to Imogen and her not being shy. Spring-ish, up into the beekeeping again anyway. How many hives do you guys have? I remember a little bit of a chat you and I had before, and you were telling me you got more than one. How many you got?
Yeah, we don't have many. We've got, we had 16, but then we've just lost one in a bit of a dearth period that we've had. A top bar hive. It was looking a bit weak towards the end of summer last season, and just in the last week they've taken off on me. So I guess the queen gave up and said no way, and she's absconded. So down to 15 now.
15 hives. And you guys, you and your husband do this together. It's not just one of you and then the other one kind of like partially. Right? You guys are both involved in this.
Yeah, yep. We both get in there and dig around in the hives a bit, and we build beehives and sell them off. So yeah, it's a bit of fun together.
Now, what's your favorite hive to work?
Favorite one. So I've got to say, probably like it's the long Langstreth sort of hive.
Katie's can bring a person.
You guys, I think, call them
Hi,
coffin
Antnee.
hives.
Sorry, Antnee just jumped in there and was mumbling.
Maybe he's still sleeping.
I guess. Sorry, Imogen. So you've got your favorite hive you were telling us about.
Yeah, so I'd probably go the long Langstreth or the coffin hives, you guys call them, or a horizontal sort of Langstreth style. Just for home sort of beekeeping and having a hive in the garden.
So, but what kind is that?
A horizontal sort of Langstreth hive. So it usually takes regular standard Langstreth frames.
Okay, so it's like a long hive. What we call a long hive.
Gosh, hang on. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Lost audio.
Oh, no.
That's okay. It's all right. I got it.
Technology is great when it works. We had that problem earlier, didn't we, Imogen?
We did.
Except on my end. I got mine fixed finally. Can you hear me now?
Yep, all good.
Now I work for Verizon. Hey, see now, that's not as common or popular yet up here. It's getting more so. I think people, when people think of a horizontal hive up here, they're still thinking more of the slanted, sloped hive, also known as the Kenyan top bar hive. When they think of a horizontal hive, more people, I think, are starting to kind of get into that concept. Did you start with a long hive, or did you just start with and progress from, say, like the Kenyan and then move towards that? Or did you just kick right off?
For us, for me, it started with a Kenyan. I sort of looked at it and thought it might be a cheaper option to start off. And I said to my husband, Chris, can you build me one of these? And so he said, okay, and he built one. It didn't turn out to be a cheaper option because the timber I chose was a nice hardwood. And then from there, we sort of, because Chris was building Kenyans, we sort of started looking at other styles, and we accumulated some regular Langstreths, and it just went from there. And now we've got pretty much one of everything sitting in the backyard, and we've just tried a bit of everything. We like to test out the hives and prototypes that we have before we sell them off, obviously. So we've got a lot of variety in our yard at the moment.
Awesome. So, and yours is the long hive your favorite is. I like long hives. I'm going to build me at least one or two more coming up here just to play with them some more. Typically, I like the, speaking for myself anyway, I like the horizontal hives too. I've been using the Kenyan more than anything. They can be tricky to work with at first. I'm sure you figured out. But yeah, this is pretty neat. Now, Debbie has been working more with the Langstraw, but have you worked at all with horizontal hives, Debbie? I don't remember.
No, I haven't.
Have you heard of the
just started out
long
with
hive?
blanks. Yes, you're talking about the Langstroth long hive.
So you do
Can
have
you hear
a long
me?
hive. I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me. No, I do not have a long hive.
Okay, but you're familiar with it. Okay.
I've heard of them.
Okay. You should try them. They're awesome. They are so much fun. At least in my opinion. I love a good horizontal hive. Imogen? Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I lost you for a second, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of blipped. Again, technology. It's great when it works. We're going to have all kinds of fun with this, but that's how it comes out together sometimes. Now, you guys, one thing that I keep getting from like Gary and Margaret over at Kiwimana and some of the other folks that I've talked to on that side of the world, where like different other pests that we are inundated with, you guys are just starting to become familiar with, like beetles, the small hive beetles. You guys don't have those yet, or do you?
Oh, we do.
You do have them, okay. And then the varroa mite.
We don't have varroa yet. No, not in
yet.
Australia. We had a little. I think they call it an incursion. They visited in the northern part of Australia. Came over in, I believe, a shipping container, and they were. It wasn't the varroa that was super destructive. It was the one that hangs out on the Asian bees, I believe. But they're monitoring the situation, and they believe they've eradicated that particular colony and that area of varroa. So we haven't officially got them yet.
Trust me, you don't want them. They're ugly.
No.
They're nasty. That they are. So what's beekeeping like over there? I mean, we know what, like here, we have, I'm totally ignorant of how beekeeping goes over there. I'm just getting a feel for, because by talking to other folks like Gary and Margaret at Kiwimana, those are probably my two most, that I talk to the most about it. I know Yappy talks to a lot of folks on the forums that he's interacted with, but is there... have you been able to pick up like any real big differences between Australian beekeeping versus the American beekeeping?
It seems pretty similar, although I think you guys have got a couple of different size frames and things and boxes that you guys use. So I think I've heard of, like, is it Manly or different sizes that you guys use? We use mainly the Australian Langstroth standard frames. And I believe they're sort of similar sizes to the New Zealander ones too. Okay.
So, yeah, we use what's the Langstroth style hive, and the frames are what we call deeps and mediums, and then some people will use the shallows.
Yep.
But I wasn't sure, because I've had some people also reference that I talked to one guy in Australia, and he said that he was using the British Nationals. Is that a pretty common hive over there?
No, I don't believe that's very common at all. No, we're mainly Langstroth.
Okay.
And there's WSP and Ideal, which are the smaller sort of supers to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, I learned something new. I learn something new all the time on this show.
Of course, there's always someone who decides to use something different and just in their own apiary.
Well, one thing I did, a fellow in, this would be down in New Zealand, actually, that I was talking to. He's been playing with kind of a concept of the, I guess it's a long frame. It's like, basically, it's a double deep frame. It's twice as long as a normal. So basically, it's like 2 boxes long, 2 deep boxes long. And they use that one, series of frames as their brood chamber, and then they just add supers on top of that for the honey. But the bees essentially stay on that long set of frames in that chamber with the very long. But aside from the length of them, it's pretty much the same as a typical long Langstroth, hive. It's just a single long or high box with the long frames in there. But apparently that's not a very common thing.
How does he find that?
No?
No, we haven't heard of that one. I reckon that'd be pretty tricky to leave her out there when it's all gummed up with propolis and stuff.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine. I mean, I get it because the concept, according to him, was to give the bees an uninterrupted comb, like they would have in a tree. So again, what would bees do? Well, when you find them in a tree, they have an uninterrupted comb. So I get the concept, but in terms of manageability, I'm like, man, that's just got to be a pain.
Yeah, imagine lifting that in, 6 kilos of, or what would you guys have, 12 pounds of honey and brood on there, and trying to leave it. The top bar must be really well screwed in.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I can't.
Does he just use it for the bottom box?
Yeah, he said that the long ones are just for the brood chamber. So
that's why he doesn't. He probably just removes it frame by frame. Then he probably doesn't even take the box off.
Well, he's got to take the honey. I mean, like we would here. We'll drop the honey supers off to get to the brood chamber. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's more manageability. It's not even about weight. Yeah, he'll put honey supers above that. But like for me, it's not even about weight. It's about. I mean, I know how it is to sit there and lift a regular deep frame up. And it can be a little, depending on how high your stand is and everything, where you're working at or how short you are, it can be kind of fun to work with just a regular deep frame. To have one of them super long things and have to just keep pulling it up and up and up. Like, when is this thing going to go? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. The endless frame. And you're exposing more bees in one shot. I mean, it's just ticking off a whole lot of bees in the wrong time of year sometimes, potentially. I don't know. We didn't get into super.
Let's find out more about that one.
I'm thinking about going to all medium frames just for the ease of switching boxes around and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why you need a long hive.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hello. I think Yappy's driving. Yappy, mute us.
No, I'm going to talk, but I didn't realize.
Bring it on, brother.
A little bit of baby background music here was bothering you. No, here's a curveball, somewhat changing the frame topic. Sorry about that. Wasn't it down in Australia last season, maybe the season before that, where there was a lot of issues with wildland fires, and there was a major problem with honey production, and it was causing problems? Or what was it in the last year or two that was causing such problems with honey production?
In Australia?
Yeah, I thought that Australia didn't Australia have like this one major honey producer down there, and there was something that I was reading on some article or through the forums that there was some issues with honey production down there because of fire or something. Does that all sound familiar, or is that?
Well, it's pretty familiar for us because where we are, we've had it's a bit, I don't know, it's been a bit of a weird one. It's a bit like, I don't know, I like to call it a bit like a perfect storm where we were. We had a weird season. A bunch of trees just decided to all synchronize together and didn't want to flower. A lot of our eucalypts flower in cycles of 18 months or, different cycles of time. And we had a lot of rain in early spring where I am, and it washed out a lot of pollen and nectar from what was flowering, and then a bunch of stuff didn't flower after that. So we've had one of the worst years in our mentor said one of the worst years in 25 years that he's been beekeeping. He started supplementary feeding his hives. He's a commercial guy. And he hasn't done that in a long time. And he's still feeling the effects of that in this season coming up now. He's still looking for flowers and things early spring for this season. He didn't go to the almonds, which he ordinarily would because his bees weren't looking up to scratch. It's been pretty terrible where I am. I know that in some parts of Australia they've been okay. In the more tropical areas it's sort of been okay. But, in a lot of parts in southern Australia, it hasn't been great. And I think it's been the same. Margaret and Gary might be able to confirm that too in New Zealand.
Yeah, go. Now I want to say I'm pretty sure I remember they were talking about having a lot of issues up around them, and that Manuka honey was. I think that's what they got Manuka up there. That it was going to be a little bit more pricey than normal because of bad production year. So, but now I think they're fixing it. They're starting to come into their spring. They're gearing up, and through their notes and things that they post in their podcasts, that they're about ready to gear up again for spring. And here I am just hoping I can hurry up and get my fall flow going so we can pack them in for winter.
Yeah, that's kind of we have to live vicariously through you here soon.
That's all right. I'm happy with that.
So your fall flow hasn't started yet, Yappy? Where'd he go?
No, I'm right here. I am like starting at it. I'm happy when I'm looking out there and I see it going crazy. I do have finally, knock on wood, the areas that I wanted to put bees on kudzu. The kudzu is finally starting to pop, and it's amazing because I can go 100. There's a road that at the bottom of this hill. From that to the top, which is only probably 3/4 of a mile going up this hill, the top of the hill is packed up full of kudzu, and it is as purple and beautiful as all get up and go. But 3/4 of a mile at the bottom of that hill, there's another patch, and it's just barely starting in. And it's just amazing what short distance in elevation makes in my area with something as little as kudzu. And blooming.
That's really kind of encouraging for me because, well, first of all, up until this year, I didn't even know kudzu bloomed, and I never noticed it blooming. My daughter's got it all behind her house. There's big, like gravel pit or something behind this privacy fence that she's got. The kudzu is blooming so strong at her house that you can smell it. I get out of my car at her driveway, and I can smell it. It is amazing. It's so overpowering, actually. The smell is it's not a bad odor. Smells great. It smells like lollipops to me, but I got kudzu across the street from me, and it doesn't even act like it wants to bloom. It doesn't even, there's not any floral looking anything on it. I've checked it once a week for the last month and nothing.
I have a gardener who I'm going to be inviting as a guest one of these times. And I'm going to ask, we can ask her if there's a difference between kudzu, like varietals or something, and maybe there's a difference like that.
Oh, I want to know what he wants to ask.
What's that?
We lost you. What were you going to ask?
I said we were going to ask this gardener that I'm going to have on one of these times about kudzu and if there's different varietals that have those different results. Because kudzu is like prevalent.
I can hear you, Imogen.
Anyway.
His computer, between trying to podcast and trying to record it and everything, I think his processor slows him down every once in a while. And then he blames it on us.
Well, I pick you guys up just fine, so you guys are blaming me, and I think it's you with your cheap little phone.
So you're wondering if maybe there's different varieties of kudzu that blooms at different times, or if it's just like Yappy says, might be altitude. And Imogen, do you even know what kudzu is?
No idea. I just wrote a note down, so I'm going to Google it.
It's a good thing you don't, because you don't need it in your country. Write that note down. Okay. No kudzu in Australia.
No, do not import this. Okay.
Because it's an invasive. They brought it in, from what I'm told, they brought it in because they thought cows were going to eat it. They thought it'd be because it grows so prolifically. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but this is the story here, that they brought it in thinking cows would eat it, and they don't. And all it does is it covers trees and old, like right now I've got a building across the street from me. It's an old cinder block house that an older lady used to live in, and it's about covered it. I mean, it just engulfs things. So yeah, you don't want it. But it is a good fall plant when there's no. Do what?
It's a weed for you guys.
Yeah.
See, we don't get that here. We don't have kudzu here.
Yeah, it might be a something that only grows because it dies back in the winter, but then it just starts all over again, and it totally. I should get a picture. Have you seen it? Do you know what it does?
Who?
You. Tony.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it in bloom, as a matter of fact. I got some buddies of mine down in Georgia who have it just rampant in their area. So
I just haven't seen it blooming at my place, so we'll see. I'm swamp. I got swamp, so I'm really low elevation, so maybe that's the deal. I don't know.
So, because you're in such close proximity down there, Imogen, do you get Manuka honey? Is that like just common for you?
No, it's not common here. We've got in Australia a bunch of different varieties of the leptospermum or leptos. I can't even pronounce the scientific names for these guys, but we've got heaps of varieties of it, and I believe that New Zealand has the one that is the medicinal one. We also have it as well here in Australia, but my bees tend not to like it. They don't want to go on it. It's sort of a bit of a last resort for them.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
I don't know why.
Maybe it's a varietal that just doesn't produce as much, of sugary content in the nectar than other varieties do, perhaps.
Or there's something else that they really like better.
Yeah.
I've been told you can put bees out to pollinate fields, and if they don't, they'll skip over what you're trying to pollinate and go to get something else if they like it better.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's also really difficult to harvest as well. We call it, I think New Zealand have trademarked the name Manuka, and we call it JellyBush in Australia, because it goes jelly in the frames and you can't spin it out with a traditional extractor. So
really,
it's pretty. Well, I think they do, but I don't know how they do it because it's really it's got a strange texture to it, and it's hard to get out of those frames.
That's interesting. I've never heard that before.
Yeah. And he looks like he just woke up.
He did just wake up.
Well, no, I woke up really early and hit the hot tub, started watching news.
Forgot us.
Yeah. Well, I just was watching the news, and I looked up and I was like, crud, it's after 10.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway.
Hi, Imogen. Hey, Debbie.
Hi.
What up, Tony?
Yeah.
I keep hearing about these long hives.
Come on. Huh?
I keep hearing about, I heard you guys discussing the long hives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to try that next. You
should.
How can I just test it out? Could I I'm sitting here thinking, okay, could I cut a hole in the side of one of my deeps or two of my deeps and put them side by side and just hope that they go, and just kind of trying it out, or will that not work the same way? You have to actually build a long hive.
Ooh,
that's a good question.
I love that idea. I think we should try it.
You got a mouse in your pocket over there?
Yes.
Who's we?
I became French. Well, because
I see. Okay.
I've got this master beekeeper buddy, that I've been apprenticing under, who likes to he calls himself a handyman.
That's why.
He really does. He considers himself a handyman. So if anybody,
well, if he has a beard, he probably isn't worth his salt. So.
Why do you say that? You don't like beards?
Make it up as they go. That's what I hear. That's what I'm told anyway.
Okay. See, so I figure if I get enough eights or get enough deeps in front of him, Debbie, we could try that and just see how it works. Or he could help me.
Dude, you've got boxes already. You've got
That's
deep
what
boxes.
I'm saying. We have the
just
boxes.
Knock one side off and you can just put them together. Even from the outside. Now you're giving me ideas.
You have the technical skill to show me the correct way to do this.
We're going to make Frankenhive. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make a Frankenhive.
We're going to do a Frankenhive. There you go.
Awesome. I love it. We got to
Okay. We've got a winter project.
See, look at Imogen came on and we got all this new projects now. We are
Imogen,
our muse.
do you Frankenhives. I got another little thing that I kind of watched this video over the weekend. Do you guys have lower entrances? Do you use lower entrances or up high?
Usually lower.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I saw somebody that had a, well, this is actually, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but it looked like a really simple way to make I'm going to a seminar in a couple of weeks. I forgot all about it. I'm going to go see Michael Bush. Yep. I knew it. Yeah, I'm going October 15th. Yep. About 30 minutes away from me. I'm so excited. So, but anyway, it's one of his deals. It's a lazy beekeeping thing. And he puts shims up under just Tony, are you rolling your eyes?
No.
He puts shims underneath. Okay. He builds he cuts he cuts a board the size of the Langstroth. Okay. And it's the exact size. It doesn't hang over the edge at all. And he uses shims and he staples them or nails them to the bottom of this board. And then he just sets that on top of the hive and that creates an opening. There's no ledge. There's no, he said it's good in areas. He said the reason why he did it originally was because of skunks. Because he has such a hard time with skunks. Do you have a pest that gets after your bees, Imogen?
In Queensland, they have cane toads, which is a feral toad that they brought in thinking that it was going to help out the cane fields, get some bug off the sugar cane. And they just sit in front of the hives and just pick bees off. But
that's horrible.
Cane toads are disgusting. They are the worst things ever.
How big are they?
They're really big. They're big toads. And, lots of people do horrible things with them. It's very cruel, but they are just in mass proportions and they put them in plastic bags and freeze them to get rid of them. And, you can have, about 20 frogs lined up around a hive just picking off the bees. But where I am, there aren't so many pests. We've got ants. A few different varieties of ants that get in there, wax moth, the normal bugs and grubs and things that get in there, but not a lot of mammals or other creatures that get in there. Oh, we've got a few birds that'll pick them off and a few spiders, but other than that, we don't have any raccoons or anything that'll scruff around in it, or bears.
It looks like, I just Googled it. It looks like our toads. How big? Like softball, basketball, tennis ball?
Not basketball size.
Beach ball.
Beach ball toads.
I'm excited. I want to see a beach ball size one. That would be awesome. My God, can you imagine that?
It'd just eat the whole hive.
Yeah, I was wondering. Like with a skunk, the way that it was described to me, they go up to the entrance of the hive and they scratch on the entrance, and the bees come out and they grab them in their paws and eat them.
Like jelly beans.
They like do what?
They eat them like jelly beans. They just scoop them up.
He said, but they don't actually eat the bee. They just suck the juice out of them and then spit them out. Somebody.
No, they eat the whole bee.
Come on, Tut. Come on.
Oh.
No.
I'm not telling.
They suck the juice out. No.
And spit them out. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He said because you can tell by you will see.
They eat the whole bees. They've even extracted the stingers when they do dissections of skunks. They've extracted stingers and everything from the throats and the lining. They eat the whole bee.
Okay. One for Tony, one for
I just have this image of skunks with a little straw,
The other guy.
Yeah. Yappy, what do you see? Yappy knows what I'm doing.
You are so good.
Well, it's just like getting on Facebook. You can get all these different answers.
It is. It really is. I just happen to prefer to use, science.
I don't believe in science.
Wait a minute. Are we still talking about skunks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I just put little signs up in my yard that says, "This is a bee yard. Nobody else can enter. Skunks, squirrels, and all other invasive species will be shot on sight." It works, really.
Yeah.
I've yet to have a skunk come in my yard.
Okay.
But I don't really have skunks around my house, so I don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, we don't have skunks here either.
I got possums.
Hey, speaking of critters, I missed it because I was like watching news.
You see a critter right there.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, but I was wondering about Shawi and not. I know we have our guest here, but what's up with Shawi or JP? Just busy in the work right now.
JP had a doctor's appointment today. He's got a little issue going on with his arm, and he's, I think, possibly, knock on wood, I hope not, but he's possibly getting lined up for fall surgery on his arm again. And, as far as Shawi goes, Louisiana got some issues with rain, and I don't think he did. But see, the problem in Louisiana is everything runs downhill. Well,
right.
He's at the bottom of the hill.
He's at the bottom of the hill. If you guys remember last year, they had some freak rain come out of nowhere, but it was all north of them. It was no big deal. And he ended up, he's been there long enough. He knew what was going to happen with that. Well, it rained, and then 2 days later, this water's coming down through there, and it starts flooding around his place. And I think he lost something like 90-some hives last year, even after he had everything elevated even higher than what it already was.
Yeah, he talked about that on here, too.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, with schedule-wise, if that's not it schedule-wise, but, I talk to him all the time, and, as soon as things slow down, we probably won't be able to get rid of them again.
Well, I know Shawi did say he was going to be about 3 or 4 weeks where he was going to be just really busy with between hunting and storms and all that, so.
Oh, that's right. Alligator season's right now. So
that's right. I forgot of the gators. See?
Gator season's open right now. So if he ain't raising his hives up and swimming, he's putting a hurt on some gators right now.
Hey, Imogen, ever wrestle a gator? I'm just saying.
They got Crocs.
No, I try not to do that. Yeah, no, I leave them alone.
Yeah, I would too. I barely like wrestling with my dog.
Okay.
Well, I've seen that dog. Blame me.
Now, do you in Australia? Do you have alligators, or crocodiles?
Crocodiles.
Really? Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
Crocodiles,
no, that's not like.
Steve, what's his name?
She probably doesn't know who that is. She doesn't know who Tom Selleck and Quigley Down Under is.
What was his name? Steve what? I can't think of his name now.
Irwin,
there you go. Crocodiles.
And it's like, wow.
Here's a question. Okay. Wait.
What?
I got one.
Really?
What? No, this is good. It's not bee related, but it's still funny anyway. At least to me it is. I thought about this the other day. Okay, in America we make all these movies where the bad guys are always, like from other countries. Now, Crocodile Dundee, I mean, we all fell in love with him, but, because he had that really great accent. But do you guys actually use like American figures to be the bad guys in your movies down there?
Oh, they're the worst. No, we use a whole bunch of different characters.
Come on.
Do you have movies there?
Yeah, did they come up with the movie like, Bob Smith Down Under, something like that?
She doesn't even know what that movie is. She says she's never seen Quigley Down Under.
It'd be Bob McKenzie up north.
Yeah.
They're huge fans of Bob and Doug.
Oh my God, we were gonna have to find a link to that movie and send it to her so she can watch that.
Dude,
the Quigley
have you ever
Down
seen
Under?
Strange Brew?
Yes.
Imogen?
Yeah, it's so good. You need to watch it, Imogen. You need to watch it.
I have it on DVD.
All right.
That movie.
Well, I got my 7 questions out of the way, guys. Listen, I need to jump. I'm sitting in the truck down here at the Bluff Springs Plaza parking lot because as soon as I turn out of this parking lot, I'm going to lose y'all. But Imogen, thank you so much for being on the podcast from the Yapster, and I appreciate the sharing of information. It was a pleasure getting to listen to you. And all those little fun stories, but I'll let you guys get back to it. I got to jump, and I had a great time. So thank you all for the fun.
You can hop in, bro.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.
Peace, Yappy. Stay safe.
All
right, bye-bye.
Bye.
And I am serious about. I am serious about doing that. Making some long hives.
Well, we got time. It's going to be a down season for us, so we'll have time to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what is the premise of a long hive? You start it in the center, or do you start it in the side and let them build all the way out? How do you put supers on top of it? What is it?
You can do a lot of different ways. We like to start on one side. We tried a few in the center, and it's a bit strange because the bees will grow or build towards one side and then get a bit confused and then start on the other side, and they expand differently if you start in the center. So we like to start on one side, and the queen usually keeps her brood sort of near the entrance and builds from there. You can super them up, but we choose not to because we figure, well, if you're going to do that, you might as well just have a standard Langstroth hive. But a normal long hive that we build and we manage usually has 30 frames anyway, so that works for us. It's usually pretty good size.
So how does it compare with honey production compared to a standard Langstroth?
I believe you probably get a little less than a standard one, depending really on how you manage it. We don't go in hard with honey production or anything. We don't try and push the bees to do a lot. We don't even use excluders on our hives. So I believe that you would get a bit less because they tend not to build as quickly horizontally. But again, it depends on the year and it depends on the bees and whether or not they're keen to go sideways. Bees will pretty much fill up any space.
So you're managing totally horizontally and just pulling frames out, because I'm looking at it more for like back issues, just the up and down. That's probably the main thing that I'm seeing that's going to be an issue for me is back. So I'm wondering.
Because you can build it as high as you want.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's comfortable.
Ours is totally horizontal.
And then I have the option to super if I want.
Yeah, you could do that, but we haven't bothered. 30 frames is pretty good for us.
Cool.
Well, they build up in the rafters in people's houses and garages and things like that, and they go sideways there. Mm-hmm. They don't.
Yeah, I'm sideways now.
But like you said.
I just woke up.
I can.
They can't see me.
Les Crowder has got a really good book if you're interested, Debbie, about horizontal hive management, and he goes into a lot of detail about managing honey and brood and all that in a long hive. He's got a really good book.
And what's his name? Les
Crowder.
Les Crowder. I've heard of him. I think he spoke it. I think he spoke at one of the. I think in the North Carolina convention this year. Seems like I've seen that.
He's a horizontal hive guru around our parts. Mm-hmm. Real friendly guy, really light spoken. I mean, it's like he's like the Bob Ross of beekeeping. Les Crowder is. He really is. Everything's really calm and it's really relaxing just to watch his videos or to hear him talk. It's like
kind of like how I feel about Michael Bush.
What?
Michael Bush is kind of that way too. He's just like, yeah, dude.
I was wondering because I wish people could see the excitement. You just like.
I was really excited, and Tony totally crushed me. But I bought one of Kim Flottam's books. I bought the big yellow one. I can go show it to you. I can't remember the name of it, but it's an advanced book.
Have you been to Mike Bush's website?
Yeah.
You got the book.
I know. No, I didn't say. No, I bought one. No, I got one of Kim Flottam's books.
I know. I heard that too. I'm just saying.
Okay. No, I know. Yeah, I know. Okay. I read it.
Okay.
I'm just a visual person, and a seminars are good for me because I'm better at listening.
Ask questions too. That's what's nice about the live one-on-one things.
And just being with bee people.
So Imogen, what, like book-wise or like guru-wise, is there anyone you listen to, or because you probably went over this and I just missed it.
You did, yeah. No, I listen to the Kiwi Mana podcast. I listen to you guys a lot, and Phil Chandler. He's good to listen to. He's got one of those voices that you sort of just I don't know, just have it on in the background and you pick up lots from him. He's also a horizontal hive guy. He's in the UK. And he's got one of those voices, you just melt away and listen to bees all day if he was speaking.
Okay.
I heard of him too. I think I've heard him. I think I've seen some stuff from him.
You got one with the Barry White of beekeeping?
No, not quite Barry White.
I'm supposed to go do karaoke tonight, so I'm like, I got to start.
You sing too?
He does karaoke.
No.
I sang in church Sunday.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Not karaoke.
So, do Australian bees buzz differently? Do Australian bees buzz with an accent?
Yeah.
Do they buzz differently from American bees?
Yeah.
American bees, they go buzz. Do Australian bees go buzz? I don't know.
Yeah, ours go buzz.
Yeah, every little different kind of way to buzz.
Got a little twang in there.
Yeah. Well, I know Canadian bees. It's like buzz, buzz,
Yeah. Then Australians would be like, buzz, yeah, buzz, yeah.
No, it'd be
g'day. Yeah.
Buzz, g'day.
I'm going to need to listen to her a little bit more so I can pick this up. I got to pick this because I can't talk about the dingoes anymore.
You are so un-PC, Debbie. I'm shocked at you.
Why can't you talk about
scandalized our guest?
I what?
You scandalized our guest.
I swim against the flow most of the time.
She's a rebel. She is a rebel. Holy moly, look at the clock.
Yeah, I was wondering.
It is, yeah. We're just clicking on time. Wow. See how easy it is to while away the moments with us here, Imogen? It goes so fast. We have so much fun that we just don't even see it. So
is your husband, would he be interested in coming on with you? Or is he got, no, man, I'm going to stay in the bed?
I don't know. He's woken up. He's down here.
Well, have him say hi.
No.
Dude.
Kicking you guys out, that's what I'm doing.
Can you hear him in the background mumbling?
I can hear him, but hey, come on, dude.
Hang on, he's coming over.
All right. Yay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
we're going to hold the show over longer just to see this. Hey,
how are you doing, guys?
Hey.
What's your name?
His name's Chris.
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
All right, Chris. Look at him. Hey, Chris, what's happening, bud?
No, not a lot. I missed me wife snoring, so I had to come down and see what was going on.
Aww.
Yeah, we're keeping you guys up late over there, aren't we? Well, we certainly appreciate it. Letting your wife sit in and school us on Australian bees and everything else. Actually, I learned more than a couple things. She's very knowledgeable. You guys got your game together down there.
Thank you.
I don't know about Antnee, but then again, I have a hard time teaching him much of anything up here.
Look, I'm telling you, we're going to have long hives. I'm going to be like Carpenter. And
he's going to put me to work.
Freaking hive. Look, this is how much I learned. I'm
going to be Googling how to put them together.
Yeah, so I need 4 boxes to get 30 frames, I figure. This way I can mess up.
Yeah, that's how you have the fun at it. That's what makes it all worth it. So we're getting ready to wrap up. You guys got any? Is there anything you guys down there from down under would like? That's a Canadian. I'm sorry, I got my Canadian accent mixed up. So last comments? Something you want to share with everybody? Your honey's better
I
than
just
New
wanted
Zealand
to say
honey?
thank you, guys. Thanks for having us on.
Okay, buy Australian honey. No, buy Australian jelly bean bush honey instead of Manuka honey because it's better.
Well, that's right. Yeah, don't worry about those Kiwis.
I learned it's jelly bean bush, not
JellyBush.
Manuka.
JellyBush, yeah.
JellyBush. Yeah. There you go. I thought it was jelly bean bush. Okay. I like jelly bean bush. I think it sounds
I like that.
It sounds better, that's for sure.
By gum. All right. Annie.
Yes.
Yeah. Last comment. What you got?
What I got?
What do you got?
I got flat feet and a long... Ooh, her creamed honey is looking good.
Sweet!
I forgot.
Oh, nice.
That'll be my closer.
He left.
Sorry, Annie.
Oh, no, it's okay, because I'm just enjoying your company, enjoying the company of all these beekeepers. I love this community. This is fun.
We need to get more of our Facebook group people in here. I think we're going to try and get some more folks just so we can see how everybody does it their own way in their own place.
That is
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on, Imogen, right? And are staying up or not, whatever.
Yeah, it's like going on 1 a.m. there. Hey, Debbie.
2:10.
Last comment?
I had completely forgot about my creamed honey. It worked. I'm not quite sure what the consistency is supposed to be, but it's really thick and it kind of flows really, really slow. I don't know if creamed honey is supposed to be completely solid, but this is pretty cool. And I started it. It gets thicker when I put it in the fridge, of course, but see, look at this.
Awesome. She is so psyched about that. She is stoked.
It's been sitting on. I've been meaning to show you guys, but I got to go check on a hive that I think I might be losing. I just looked at the notes and it's been declining anyway, so more than likely I probably got wax moths in there, so I got to go look at that.
Bummer. That's no.
Yeah, but it was. Yeah.
Well.
Declining anyway.
We are at the end, and I want to thank everybody for listening and sticking with us and tuning in despite all the technical difficulties from time to time. Keep an eye out for the website because we've always got every couple of weeks we got the new webcomic, and we got another one that's going to be coming out soon. And we always the little articles and posts, and then we got the new podcasts whenever we can get them to post right. So we're going to be doing a lot more fun stuff, some more fun videos. I got a review. Hey, I got a review coming. We got some of the new tests for American foul brood and European foul brood. They sent us, it's supposed to be, they say it's like doing a pregnancy test, but on hives. And it tells you just use it real quick to find out if your hive has AFB or EFB. We're going to do a video review on that. So we're going to have that coming up too. So we got a lot of stuff happening for the Be Smart Beekeeping Project on the website, and then we'll keep doing more stuff here and trying to get more cool folks to come and hang out with us. In the meantime, folks, please don't ever forget when you're out there with your bees and your hives and hiving and being it and whatever else you're doing with it, to be smart.